Welcome to Authentic Journey. This is a show about raw conversations about life and living.
I'm Neliana, a funny, smart, lovely, and sexy woman who loves to challenge ideas.
And my name is Kim. I'm a woman, a mother, a sister, an aunt, a colleague, and I think a great friend. I'm a human being who enjoys connecting with people.
We want to encourage you to give yourself permission to have honest and raw conversations in the search for your own authenticity.
Thank you for joining us. Today we talked about talking about boundaries. And I remember when we talked about it, I think it was 2 weeks ago, you said something that cracked me up. What did you say? You said, I don't like boundaries.
Yeah, I think that I know that this is what I'm going to say. It sounds very strong, but I kind of hate the word boundaries. I feel that I think that they are coming from this culture. Like I don't remember any time in my life that I hear the word boundaries or límites in Spanish. That's not something that you talk in therapy or in the family. I think that because of our culture, it's community. We don't talk about making lines or separating people. And boundaries for me are something that I learned when I came to this country. And everybody in therapy talk about putting boundaries to your husband, to your family. And I'm like, I don't think that works. It's cultural competence. Like it's, and I don't know. I think that it's wrong in my way of thinking, the way that we talk about boundaries. So I'm curious about what comes to your mind when you listen about boundaries.
Well, I'm right there with you because, we're both not from this culture, right? So when I hear boundaries, I hear separation, right? Because in my culture, we're both from collectivist culture where there's this togetherness, right? Where we all come together to, do things, in favor of the family. So when I hear boundaries, initially I had to understand the academic meaning of it, and I had to now apply the academic meaning to it, to the therapeutic meaning, because, being therapists, we have to work with clients, to establish boundaries. But from a personal standpoint, it was a struggle at first, but I think with time, I started understanding the importance of boundaries. And being someone who's not culturally American, right? I do have the nationality now, but I had to learn how to make it my own, right? I had to learn how to make it my own because I'm someone who, I wouldn't describe myself as a people pleaser, but I'm someone who, if I can help, I'm always happy to help. But sometimes, as you and I know, people tend to take advantage of people, that want to help. So I had to start asking myself, what do you really not mind helping with? And then what are things that you can say, no, that doesn't work for me. So, that's how I look at boundaries, right? How I still want to be myself, but at the same time, I want to honor my space, my time, and all those things. So that's how I look at boundaries,
Yeah, I think that for me, boundaries sounds like a very rigid line that people cannot move.
Yes.
And I feel, and I think that I do this also in therapy, invite people to be more flexible about when and how to put boundaries, because I feel that sometimes, depending on how we feel or with who we are interacting in a specific moment, I can put the line here, but also I can put the line far away depending of what are my needs or what is that people need. So for me, if you as a friend call me every night at 10 p.m., I will say, in came, like, we need to talk. Like 10 p.m. It's late for me.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
if you call me one or twice because you are struggling with something at 10 p.m., I'm not going to put a boundary on says like, okay, In came, call me twice at this point. Now I need to put boundaries to her. So for me, when I hear people saying putting boundaries, sounds like something like, okay, I don't accept people calling me after 10. And I think that it's more flexible or more with the flow, depending of the situation, depending of the person, depending the context, depending how I feel. Because if I'm feel drained after 10 hours of sessions, yes, I want to be there for you, but in the way that I can be there for you, it's going to be completely different. If you call me at 7 a.m. and I still have all the energy to give it to you. So, and when the other day I was talking with a client, and we were talking about, he was like saying, I need to put boundaries and let other people know who I am and what I need from them. And I was saying, like, what you need from others is depending of so many things at the same time, that I wonder if it's not about boundaries, it's about frequency, like energy. So at this point, I move my energy closer to me or closer to you, depending of so many factors, that it doesn't have to be black and white.
Yeah. And see, I agree with the flexibility of boundary, because when people hear boundary, myself included, right, there's this, I hear it as a door, right? And I almost always hear it as a door closed. And sometimes when I hear it as a door closed, yes, you may be keeping that boundary, as in, the good example you used as, me calling you at 10 o'clock just to talk compared to me calling you and needing support. Those are two different things. Calling you just to run my mouth at 10 o'clock, that's a no-no, even though we're friends. But calling you and saying, hey, I'm going through something, I need support at 10, that's a different kind of call, right? But when I hear boundary, I hear it as a door closed. Not only are you leaving someone on the outside, but you could also be preventing something good from coming in. So I always, like, when I talk with my clients, and even when I self counsel, I always ask myself, when you're establishing these healthy boundaries, what is the purpose, right? What are you trying to leave out, but also what are you preventing from coming in? Because you could be saying, hey, I don't want someone to take advantage of me, but at the same time, you could be blocking in someone coming in to help you when you need help, right? So boundaries, in as much as we're talking about it, I guess I want to kind of think out loud about what we're leaving out, but what we're also preventing from coming in, may be beneficial to us. And I don't know, how people think about this perspective of it, and I'm wondering what your thoughts are about that.
Yeah, I think that that's a completely different perspective that I never thought before. And I think that it's part because I don't put boundaries. So it's difficult for me to feel what I'm missing to put a boundary, because I don't do that. So so for me, it's kind of an exchange of energy, and that is coming, is bring me kind of back to our conversation where we were talking about love circles.
Yes.
For me, it's about me protecting my space. So in this case, it will be me putting boundaries to myself about how I want to interact with you, how I'm going to allow myself interact with you, how much space I'm going to let you be part of me, instead of, because that's another part. Boundary sounds for me like you are asking the other, you have to respect that. So in some way, it's an imposition. It's someone saying, you cannot do that. So if I really believe in respecting other people, for me, it's like putting a line when I say, you are not allowed to trespass that. Sounds, I don't know, like harsh. Sounds like I'm not taking care of your needs or your emotions. We stop talking about opportunities or possibilities. So when I respect or protect myself, putting myself a boundary, it's not about you. It's about me. It's me taking control over my needs and deciding what to do instead of putting on you, you need to do that. So I can allow you to be. So it's tricky. And I see it like a lot with like Hispanic, first generation of Hispanic child talking with the parents and say, you need to respect my boundary. It's like, this is what I allow, or you cannot call me every day. And I'm not going to answer the call. And I'm like, I can understand that parents could be overwhelmed, that they are not that busy like before, so they need to know. But instead of, for me, trying that they get the boundaries set, is how we can have a conversation where I can make you part of my life, because when they are calling every day, it's not about bothering you. It's they need to feel that they are part of your life. So instead of saying, don't call me, it's like, okay, if you need to know about me, how do I have a conversation with you where maybe, okay, I don't answer the call, but I send you a picture of what I'm doing. So we negotiate instead of putting a wall that says, I don't allow you to be part of this side of my life. And I think that when I'm able to explain that in therapy to parents, to that child that needs that kind of boundary, it's easier for the parents to say, okay, I think that I can do that. So, and if we are talking about teenagers, like, okay, so what do you need to make sure that he's safe? Oh, that he sent me a text saying, I go to this place, I'm moving to that place, and you do it. Yes. So people, it's easier to negotiate some behaviors. But when you present them, like, this is my boundary, I feel that there's a rejection of why you want to separate from me if we are family.
Yes. I agree 100%, because just saying boundary without conversation or negotiation, it's like a door. But saying, hey, mom or dad, you calling me at 9 a.m. may not work because I'm at work, right? Maybe we could talk when I get off work, would be more understandable than just saying, I need you to respect my boundary. Right? I need you to respect my boundary. A different way of saying it, like, could be, hey, I'm at work, can we talk after work? That is a boundary without using the word boundary. Right? And I like how you said it, because negotiations and conversations, needs to happen for people to understand the why, instead of just throwing out that word boundary. I say, hey, I'm just closing the door. You don't have to know why. I don't need to tell you why, but this is the door. I need you to respect the door,
Yeah, because it's not just using the word boundaries. It's exactly what you were saying. It's about explaining why it's important for you, and that you care also about the other person's needs. How do you find a way that it works for both? And I think that when you are coming from a mindset of boundaries, it's like, this is the boundary. This is the line.
There's like a finality.
The line.
Don't cross it.
And I feel that when someone comes to me to say, this is my line, I'm like, why do you need a line from me? Like, what I did wrong. So instead of creating and building something together, it's like, okay, now I'm not that person for you. I stop being that person for you. And I think that that's hard sometimes to deal, because now it's not about if I'm calling you or not. Now I'm also dealing when that you don't love me or you don't like me in the same way that before you put that boundary. And now it's a relational a scar also. So now we are not talking just about calling or not calling. It's about, why do you need to put this line of separation between us? So now it's guilty, it's anger, there are many more emotions. So I really try to not promote boundaries coming from this imposition of my needs. It's more, how do we negotiate our needs?
Yes, yes. How do we negotiate how we interact with each other? Taking your schedule into consideration, taking my schedule into consideration, and making it work for both of us, where, both parties feel, equally, I guess, heard and respected about, the negotiation and the conversations.
And also, like I was saying, like we don't wake up with the same energy. We are, everybody's living their own life. So when you set boundaries like that, people stop asking or trying, because they want to respect your boundaries. And then if they need something, it's like, no, I know that in case she doesn't like that. So at what point, if we talk about the present and what we need today or not, we are promoting more conversations and more exceptions, where if you really need me, let me know and I will be there. And how do we define I really need you? It's also a conversation. Because what you think that it's needs, it's not for me the same need or not the same important. So how do we talk the same language? Because I found that many times we think that we are talking the same, when you're talking about boundaries, for me sounds different. When you talk about respect, you have to respect my time. For me, respect time, it means completely different. So how do we talk? How do we create a language that is common from both?
Well, I love what you said right there, because in as much as we're both speaking English, when I hear what you say, I have to filter it through my own life experiences, and the way I receive it is different from the way you receive it, and it's different from the way the other person receives it. Because we're inferencing, we're putting meaning based on our experience of what the person is saying, and we interpret it and we run with it, right? And it may not be exactly what the person it means, but that's how we take it, because of our understanding of what they said.
And that's bringing me back exactly what you were saying. If we don't close the door, we can understand the meaning of both, and we can create a new opportunity, a new possibility. But when I assume that we are talking the same, and I put the line, we stop communicating. And when we stop communicating, coming assumptions, miscommunication, separation. So at the end, again, we are not building, creating. We stop being ourselves, being authentic in front of the other, because we need to make sure that the boundaries is respected. Also, in opportunities that we don't want to respect the boundaries, but we are scared if we open that door again, we will need to close it again. So for me, if we are open and closing the door, because there is not a door, there is a permission, there is like a knock, hey, can I go? But the door is open. We can say, hey, right now it's not a good moment for me. And the people don't get upset or affected. They are like, okay, I get it. It's not the right time for you. So how we can leave that door open, that still people can knock. So you can have a conversation about needs right now. No, I really need you. Okay, let's go sit. I have 5 minutes. So let's take advantage of that. So yes.
I'm kind of wondering what would be a good takeaway, for the purpose of what would be a good takeaway for this conversation about boundaries, you think?
I think that because I just add the authentic word, I would say how we respect our authenticity, but also allow other people to be authentic too. Yeah. And how do we talk in a way that both of us, we can negotiate how to be authentic in the specific moment. I don't know if that's close our session, but that's what is in my mind right now. Yeah.
I think like, the word, conversation comes to mind, right? Because when we have conversations, we allow space for like possibilities, just having conversations and negotiating what works, what doesn't work, I think would be a helpful way to talk about boundaries without using the word boundary, because that boundary kind of sort of makes it, like we said, like a separation, a door, so just conversation, negotiation, and just honoring ourselves, like you said, and also honoring the people that we're in conversations with. Thank you for joining us.